Today I am way out in the country in search of an abandoned railroad tunnel that was built in 1882 and saw service for almost 100 years. It was shut down in 1980 when this section of rail line was built to bypass the tunnel section. And this rail line was originally built by the East Tennessee, Virginia, and Georgia Railway, which was later the Southern Railway. And it went through a tunnel which is 750 feet long, and the directions that I have aren't really all that great, so I'm gonna have to go try and find this. It may turn into a nice hike. Hopefully we will find it, and hopefully you will enjoy it. This is where I'm going in, right down here. I scoped it out just a little bit, just a few feet down there just now, and it looks like it's the right way to go, so we'll soon find out. Let's go see. Okay, here we go. Looks like maybe some spare parts to railroad car or something. Well, got a train coming. Back the other way. BNSF that just went by. Earlier, Norfolk and Southern train came by just maybe not 10 minutes ago. Looks like this is all going to be intermodal freight, so I don't think I want to stick with it. Because I've got a long hike ahead of me, and so I don't want to use my battery power or my time. And here comes another train coming back the other way. That down there is the Norfolk and Southern. And that Norfolk and Southern has come to a stop on a siding waiting for this one to pass, and then he'll go on. So, well, that's a pretty cool sight. Let's go back here and see if this is indeed the right way. That looks like the vacuum lines that goes in between cars. Let me see if that was flexible. It is, so let's go on ahead and see what we can find. And we got a boot here. Now, from the research that I've done on this, it is soggy and wet, and it was strongly advised to wear boots, so I did. I heeded the warnings. Didn't want to get down here in sneakers and regret it. So I don't know if somebody left that there, so others to borrow. One's not going to do you too much good, I wouldn't think, but at any rate. And we got some wild roses growing down here. And we got a share of poison ivy in here, which is another good reason to always wear long pants on explorers. And on this one in particular, I knew I was going in the woods, so even though it is hot today, I went ahead and wore long pants. I'm immune to poison oak and poison ivy, have been all my life, but when it's hot and sweaty, the pores opened up, it's not really a good idea to test that. I've never broken out, never had a problem, but there can always be a first time. I don't know if you can see him or not, and I don't have zoom on my camera. There's a big old turtle. Looks like a mud turtle over there. From the back, I don't know, it's hard to tell. And he heard me. You can see his head sticking up. And he just hit the water, didn't like the company. And this is kind of down in a gully, so maybe so. Descriptions that I've read say that you will kind of follow a gully, so which was the route of the original rail line. And where on the ground, looks like that sometimes people ride four-wheelers down here. Before this is over with, I may wish I had one. The quarter-mile distance came from people's descriptions, and that varies. That quarter mile could turn into a country mile very easily. And for those of you that live in rural areas, you know what I'm talking about when I say a country mile. Tires all back in here. Once you get down here in the shade, temperature-wise, it's not too bad. And surprisingly, there's a little breeze following the gully. I figured down below, you can see how far down below the road we are. Right up there is the road. I wouldn't think any air got in here, but there is. There are tires everywhere. Alright, now I think this is the old railroad line. When they say it's always wet in here, looks like they weren't kidding. Oh yeah, that right there is crazy. I think I should have stayed over there. Now the trick will be getting back over there. And as long as it's been since we've had any rain, I can see why the railroad built a line bypassing this, because it looks like they may have had water problems in here the whole time. This has turned into a creek. The stream bed's firmer than the banks here. Now hopefully there's not a water moccasin about 20 years old under there. That doesn't happen to like visitors. Yeah, that's pretty. Mosquitoes in here are unbelievable. But that is really pretty right there. I think that's it right there. I think we are here. Now in getting there, if I don't take an absolute flying leap here, I know y'all will be entertained, but not me. It's kind of odd how this stream bed is firmer underfoot than the banks. Maybe it's because of the water going over it and maybe packing down the dirt some. Yeah, when they said it was really wet, they didn't say anything about there being a stream in here. Now I see why they closed this. It's too bad they couldn't have left this open a couple more years just to say that it served for 100 years, but when there are heavy downpours, there's no telling how much water was down here. Now, everything I've read about this says it's 750 feet, which that is more than the length of 2 football fields. And right off the bat, this doesn't look like it. I don't know, it may be like swimming out across water. It may be further than it looks. Half an hour from now, it may still be in here. And look here how they cut out the rock in order to build this. Been standing since 1882, and yet we have to repair potholes every 6 to 12 months. Go figure that. And that looks awfully flat up there. I wonder if there was used to be a road across the top of it. Be interested to know. Not much of a way I can get up there. Now, about 40 years ago, yeah, that wouldn't have really been a problem. And the black up there is from the steam locomotives. Smoke from the coal that they burned. Still there after all these years. Brick construction. Alrighty, here we go. Yeah, there have been people in four-wheelers in here. And there's supposed to be some alcoves in here. Right here. You can see how narrow this tunnel is. That's an old light. We've only come that far right there. But in case a train came by, they did provide an escape for people. Now, I don't know if that was primarily for railroad workers, but I don't know if you can see or not. That might be better. If a train came by and you happened to be in here, you had to kind of squat down a little bit. Maybe not originally, maybe it's just silted in. Maybe there was room to stand up. covered in mud. Use the wash basin there. There's another one of the little alcoves. Hear traffic on the road nearby, so we're not too far from the road. As you can see, it's not crumbling. It is still solid. As I've said before, there was a time and day when something was built, it was built. That one doesn't look like it's silted in as much. It still looks a little short to me. Well, it's a little better. This is about human size, so they did it right. Maybe before the days of radio communication, railroad workers might sometimes get caught in here. And the nice thing about it is that so far, this is graffiti free. I like seeing things. There's a little bit right there. It's just few and far between, not much. I like seeing things in their original state as much as possible. Don't like a lot of vandalism and graffiti, although graffiti is vandalism. And even though there are some fantastic graffiti artists out there, I still like seeing things the way they may have originally looked, or as close to it as possible. It's surprising how darkness, even on a bright sunny day, swallows up your light. Well, those who said it's 750 feet exaggerated a little bit. It's leaking right there. I just got wet, but it is still a hot day, so I'm good with that. It actually felt good. Now running into a little more graffiti, so this end must be easier to get to, but it's still not severe. And things aren't chiseled away. Now you can see where it's silting in. Now you saw me step into one of these alcoves down the way, and we're going uphill. And you can see how much this is silted in right here. That's about 2.5, 3 feet further down. And again, from the descriptions I've read, the people suspect that the old rail lines are still under here. They just silted over, which I would like to have seen that. They used to stamp the dates on the rails or into the rails. That would be interesting to see when the last rails were produced. And they got a chain across this. Now, again, there have been accounts of people driving their four-wheel drive vehicles down here and getting stuck, and somebody else having to come pull them out. And it's interesting how it looks like that the walls are not straight up and down, that they lean out just a little bit. If you can see that down there, down through there, it looks like the walls are leaning out some instead of straight up and down. This is amazing. Let's see, it's been standing for 137 years. And you can see how solid this is. There's not one brick out of here. And like I said, there are some talented graffiti artists. This must be the easier end to get in. I took the scenic route, evidently. There's a little bit missing there. Now you can see how much this is silted in. And in one of the pictures I saw here, there were a bunch of tires here, and somebody's come in here and cleaned them up. That's good. Wish they'd get on the other side and do the same thing. You can see the top right there. And that old piece of angle iron. I don't know what that was. Looks like a cable of some type attached to it. Maybe, my guess is, since the tunnel did have at least one light in it, that looks like it may have gone to the power line and went down through there maybe, or maybe up the hill, I don't know, but that probably had something to do with the power line coming into it. Very old archway design. You can hear another train of that. Folks, that's creepy. I know it's coming from the line down there, but we're standing right here in the tunnel and hear a train horn. Yes, sir. If it happened down about halfway through, that would have been an interesting experience. And the old rail line went right on down through here. I'll start heading back through. What I thought was a chain across it, as you can see, is a tree across down through there. I had been told that there was a pile of gravel that had been put up that to keep people from driving down in here. And if you're a railroad worker or somebody that got caught in here when a train was coming by, I can't imagine the sound. As you can hear the sound now, reverberating, it would be so loud, especially in the days before hearing protection. There's no way this is 750 feet. This isn't, I don't think it's even 300, honestly. But that's all right. Railroad tunnels in this state, all put together, are less than 1 mile, all put together. So it's not surprising this one is relatively short. Most of them in our state are. And the moisture and everything's got it pretty nice and much cooler than it is outside. And here's the water leakage again. Sound reverberates so much I can hear myself walking in here. I don't know if you can or not. There's another one of those alcoves that's silted in a lot. I don't know if you could see it, they have the same little archway design over the alcoves. All I can say is if you got caught in a tunnel this narrow and were in the alcove, the train would literally be less than 3 feet from your face. And if something happened, cause you a stumble or something while you're standing there, you'd just be gone. Oh, it's a nice breeze coming through here. Man, that feels good. As cool as it is in here, that feels like it's 20 degrees cooler than it is outside right now. Getting back towards the non-silted end of it. And here on this one you can see the archway a little better. And that's really something. You can still see the soot up there from the old locomotives. There was interest on the part of a few people in trying to get this preserved. And it's too bad they haven't been successful in doing so. It was built in 1882. This would be worth preserving for sure. Past a light down there, looks like there's at least two. I don't know if you can still see it or not. And here's another one. I have an idea that's what that angle iron was for when they put electric lights in here. Next looks like a sodium light, which means it was put in much later. Those came out in the 70s, I want to say. So that might not have been there for very long before the line was abandoned. I wish they would get enough interest in this in order to get this preserved. But even if it would take too much to dig the silt out, this would make a nice little walking trail through here. Maybe part of the Rails to Trails program. That would be great. But so far not. And of course, if they were to try to dig all this out, the expense would be tremendous. And now you might risk damaging the tunnel if you got in here and started trying to dig all that silt out, because that's years worth right there. 40 years worth of silting in down there on that other end primarily. And of course there's some on this end as well. Y'all hear that? Now that, my friends, is a train coming. Yeah, now that kind of gives you a creepy feeling when you're in an abandoned tunnel and you hear a train coming. And the train went on by. That was a reverb and a half. Well, the train went on another track, didn't come through the tunnel, so we're good. Okay, everybody, that's it for the old railroad tunnel, and I hope you enjoyed it. I did. I'm glad that I was able to find it. It wasn't overly hard to find, and wasn't really all that hard to get to. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.